What do you think about horizontals being parallel to the plane of the horizon?
What do you mean horizontals being parallel to that? I don't care.
Nice.
Why should I care about that?
Well, I'm just saying, like,
Oh, right, no.
it's just
What do I
t-shirt logic. Do you not care?
Great. I think great. Does that get me to the truth? No. So,
Yes.
who cares?
It's the echo in your brain. You know you can't sustain the misconceptions in your mind. One day you'll see for sure what all of this was for. Then you can leave it all behind. The journey begins. I am the one, yeah, that will show the proof. I am the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the logos.
So yeah, X and Y is the horizontal definition.
In the beginning was found this thing that cannot speak. It's how we all truly learn. It's only ever attained when one lets go of fear. So don't let wisdom pass you by. The journey begins. I am the one, yeah, that will show the proof. I am the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the logos.
Yeah, you mean like a Y datum plane?
Yeah.
Like we have in reality?
If you say so.
Well, we do, don't we?
If you
Elevations.
say no, Bev.
Well, we do, don't we?
In your reality, Bev.
We do. We have a vertical datum plane, don't we? Or vertical datum, let's call it.
If you say so.
Yes, I do.
It was there all along. How could I never have seen this thing that's danced all around? It wasn't until I left behind the things I believed that I could see things so clear. The journey begins. Become the one, yeah, that will show the proof. Become the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. Become the whispers of the logic in their minds. Become an agent of the logos. Become an agent of the logos. We are the agents of the logos.
On there called Colon, who's a gamer who I wanted to get server information off, but besides that, I don't watch Mr. Sensible.
Colon's a troll. I've seen him on. I've seen him on loads of other places. I mean, that's just what we call him.
No, I've never. Well, I've only ever seen him on Mr. Sensible's, and I've not spoken to him about Flat Earth at all, so I don't know.
You're obsessed about
I'm
Flat
about
Earth.
7 Days to Die server, and that's it.
Why so obsessed about Flat Earth?
Me?
Yeah.
Because I hear people discussing things with words and non-spatial awareness. And I'm not on about anybody in particular or one side or the other. And I used to do for like 17 years of my fucking career 3D graphics and visual effects and shit like that for games and film and TV and stuff. I don't anymore, but I used to. And it's not that I miss it. but it's nice to find a purpose for it, and it's not necessarily flat Earth that interests me at all. It's actually demonstrating concepts and space using 3D and technology and stuff like that to do predictions or to do, it's less about, oh look, the Earth is a globe, because it's more about, hey, I can do ray tracing through 4 levels of refractive index to simulate the atmosphere. So if there was another thing that wasn't flat Earth that also allowed that, I'd be just as interested in that, mate.
So you, when you modelled your computer games in 3D, did you ever model a realistic, a curvature that mapped? Did you ever model anything onto a ball? Did you start off with a very big ball?
No. You never do that.
Just a plane then?
Well, I tell a lie on some. So I did I did a game ages ago, which was a stylistic game where one of the menu choices miniaturized worlds. So yes, in that case, I did model things onto a ball, but they were miniaturized worlds. If you're on about the racing games that I've done, wait a minute, what else have I done? Racing or third-person or adventure games that are set on like Earth, then no, you don't model Earth for 2 reasons. One, it's too big and utterly irrelevant given the context. And 2, if you're doing physics, as in a physics engine, so one of the most popular physics engines in games is Havoc. The computation for doing spherical Newton fields, so a point in space that everything goes towards, is so much more complicated than simulating a Y force, as in a single unit force in a single direction, when you're doing complex kind of collisions for ground or other objects or things like that. And if it doesn't make a difference to the game or the context or the player, you just don't do it, because you just lose so many compute cycles for 0 gain.
Yeah, you mean like a Y datum plane?
Yeah.
Like we have in reality?
If you say so, Bev.
Well, we do, don't we? Elevations.
If you say so, Bev.
Well, we do, don't we?
In your reality, Bev,
we do. We have a vertical datum plane, don't we? Or vertical datum, let's call it.
If you say so, Bev.
Yes, I do.
Well, it's funny how my spherical Sun, Terminator, Shadow, Night Day, Star Trail all compound off distance, rotation, and size of a heliocentric model predict my world and my reality exactly, and everything that I've tried on a flat Earth doesn't. But yeah, sure, we'll go with what you say.
Have you ever tried mapping elevations?
On,
well, in reality or
yeah, so
on a model.
Yeah, so there's so there's actually a brilliant external add-on for Blender. Blender's free, by the way, anybody can download it, and it's called GIS. And what it allows you to do is, the UI is a bit clunky, but it allows you to specify an area on a map. I think it uses Bing Maps or fucking Open Maps or something like that. It allows you to specify an area on a map and import the topological data for that. So you could, so let's say I wanted Buckinghamshire, for instance, where I am. I could go and just draw a big rectangle around Buckinghamshire on the map inside of Blender in this GIS plugin and say, import the most detailed topological data you have for this. And it will bring it in.
And would it put it on that vertical datum?
So by default, yes, there is a little switch in there to say account for curvature of Earth.
What, on the vertical datum?
No, on the plugin when you're importing the topological data to do a view transform based on a curve of the Earth.
Oh, so you can take a developable plane into a non-developable plane. through a computer program on
I
Blender.
can take topological data that is actually derived from elevation and then account for the curvature of the Earth with a switch or not.
Wow. Developable / to non-developable surfaces.
Exactly what I just said.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Well,
Things they can do with computers nowadays, eh?
I didn't write the plugin.
No.
So yeah, it's not bad.
No. But I mean, like when we were saying about in reality, you went to a Blender program. Because I was thinking like when the surveyors actually measure those elevation changes. They're working on the vertical datum.
Yeah, when I compare it against reality, I mean walking outside and actually doing observations against the predictions that it says should be true if this were true.
Yeah, surveyors that are measuring the elevations don't go to predictions or anything.
No, they actually measure. I don't measure. I look at predictions based on the input variance to come up with a probability of whether it is true or not. Measuring it doesn't interest me, and I don't have the equipment to measure it anyway. So
okay. Well, in order to do that measurement, you have to establish the horizontal. Would you call that measuring the horizontal?
I'm only interested in I don't work in my world, in my reality, with measurements. I deal with probability. The probability based on the model and the predictions is that we live on a planet exactly as they say, because it's been 100% correct in its predictions. When I say 100%, let's say 99.9, because it can be half a degree off, but mostly because sometimes I get the position of where I put the observer might be fucking off by about 20 miles.
Is there not like paradoxes gained though from doing that you have to accept for the model?
Such as?
Such as a drop being a hump, 2 drops becoming a hump, and then like a.
Well, you see, the thing is, I don't need a definition like a hump. Mm-hmm. I just have vertex points or parametric points along a non-rational B-spline. So I don't need any of those silly definitions. I'm just dealing with geometry. That's it.
Yeah, we can deal with geometry as well, vertical and horizontal, like X and Y.
Here and go. That's many humps put together through slices. I say that's a sphere.
Yeah, well, when we're talking about a datum plane to just establish, like you don't say, "Oh, I'll just go and measure X."
No, I don't say I'll go and measure
and Y, and then no. So
you
measure from those, don't you?
No, I don't. I just told you I don't measure.
In your computer, I'm just trying to imagine compare the computer world that you're in to reality.
All right. So what I do is I Google the current scientific data for the size of the Earth.
No, we're talking about just establishing a plane to start off with. Like we start at the very basics.
I'm not bothered about establishing a plane.
Well, you switch your computer on, right, and then a plane is already established for you to build upon, right?
Well, a 3D coordinate system.
Yeah. Well, so that initial, do you have an X, Y, and a Z, or do you have it a different way on the computer?
Oh my God, I don't have a Z. We have a Z.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Do you have XZ as your plane, and then you build the Y up on it, or do you have an XY?
Well, it depends what I'm using. In Blender, Z is up. In Maya, Y is up.
Yeah, I think we were talking that, your first Maya one, would that have come first before Blender? Because I was saying to the guys that the X and the Y comes from a traditional mathematics sort of view.
Yeah, CAD stuff.
Yeah. And then, later on, they added the Z. Well, in reality, I say, those of us that are in reality, they work on the vertical, which we call Z.
Yeah, now the weird thing is, I never used to, because I came from Maya, 3ds Max and AutoCAD and Blender all have Z as up. But I always, in games as well, Z, because we have what you call a Z buffer, which is a determinate figure for how many levels of draw order you can have away from the camera. So Z being away from the camera. So Z in kind of the entertainment gaming world was always laterally, never vertically, because of that. Whereas
sort of like depth of field as you're looking at it.
Yeah. So if you start out as a AutoCAD technician, you're doing a plan, your Z is actually your fucking height. So yes, it depends.
I'm getting a clearer picture now, right? Yeah. So you're looking at the Z when you're
not in Blender. I converted all of my shit over to. Well, I still have a license for Maya, but I don't use 3D graphics anymore, to be honest. But I converted them all over to be Blender so that other people could use them if they wanted. And then you'd have to spend money buying Maya. So
would that be right then? X and Y being distance across the bottom, and the Z being the field that you're actually looking at, like the portrayed image.
In Blender, not now. Well, I use Blender now, so Z is up.
Yeah.
So yeah, X and Y is the horizontal definition.
Cool. So that's the You don't want to talk about how we 3D reality.
We don't 3D reality. Reality is there whether you do anything to it or not. All I care about is, well, in a discovery and pragmatic sense, all I care about is if I input the established scientific data only, not predictions or anything to do with the history of predictions, and then only do what they say, as in rotate a sphere. Do things match reality, and if so, how many?
Is geometry scienceable?
You'd have to define scienceable.
Well, you said scientific data. I mean, like, you're talking about like geometry, aren't you? Numbers and distances.
When I say scientific data, I mean, so in order to build my Sun Terminator line, blah blah blah, everything predictor, and I'm putting the moon in there as well, by the way. I just haven't finished it yet. In order to build that, the first thing I do is I want survey data. So static, established scientific data. When I say scientific, I mean some scientific body has said this is as it is. So all I care about at that stage is, well, okay, so what's the radius of the Earth? I don't care how they established it, so long as it's accepted scientific survey data.
Measurements aren't scientific. That's what I'm saying. You can't science a measurement, can you?
I'm just telling you my process. And then the distance, so the distance to the sun, and then the size of the sun, and importantly, because nothing works without it, believe it or not, the 23.5 degrees tilt.
Again, geometry. That's all geometry. There's not science.
So 3.5 degrees tilt. So once I've got that survey data, I build a model. Doesn't matter whether I do it physically or inside a computer. If I did it physically, I'd need fucking 60-mile stretch of shit and some really big balls. But so I do it on computer, and then I turn the sphere and see if the predictions work.
So this scientific data that you're getting, are you going to Google for it?
It's just basically model-based predictions that I can measure against reality that give me a probability of whether something is most likely true.
They can't be model-based predictions.
It is a model, yeah.
Model-based predictions, you said. You go to Google to go and get your model-based predictions.
No, I build the model and then I wiggle variables to give me prediction.
So you get some geometric distances.
Yeah.
And angles.
Well, I won't call them geometric. I just call them distance and angles. Yeah, distance, angle, and size.
Right, now, are they scienceable? Can you do science with that?
I don't understand the question. I don't know what the fuck you're on about.
Do you know what science is? The difference between science and geometry.
Well, yeah, science. I actually don't care about science. I give a shit about probability.
Okay. Well, we just do the geometry and the logic. and the reality.
I care about the probability of what I live on and how it interacts. And so far, the predictions are it's 100% as they say it is.
But you've took a load of numbers, that's geometry, right? You're making shapes with numbers and getting distances, proportions,
I've taken survey data, yes,
lines. Yeah, they're just points, aren't they? Those the data is a series of datum, right? Datum is just a point, a physical location point in space.
A distance is not a physical location in space.
Well, a datum.
Oh, yeah,
is that so? A series of datums.
Datums.
Because together
the
as a group,
and the distance.
Yeah, as a group, all of these datums go together, and they call it data. Right, but they're just points in physical space.
None of those which I mentioned are points in physical space. No.
None of the data that you gain.
None of the data that I got are points in physical space, no.
Okay.
Distance is not a point in physical space. Size is not a point in physical space. And the angle of something is not a point in physical space. No. None of that.
Okay.
Zero.
So you got none of your data from anything physical, like anything from reality.
I got it from current scientific understanding to test whether that was true. That was it. Nothing more.
Again, you just said scientific understanding. Is there some special way for scientists to understand this geometry?
Okay, how about I change the sentence to this? I built the model based on the speculative information of the expert community that I can just search that everybody's got knowledge to see whether it was true based on being able to get predictions out of it to measure against my reality. Let's take science out of it. I don't give a shit.
Well, yeah, but we're in that like real bit, like the actual measurement gaining part, like where those actual data comes from, the datums, the individual datums.
In a model, Bev, I can actually test the variance of the input data. So if someone says the Earth is 6.3 million meters, the radius, I can say, great, but not only am I going to test that, I'm going to test it at 3 million and 9 million as well, and 20 million to see what difference that makes on the predictions, so that I can get a band of what is most probabilistically true. And that's all I've done. I don't care about the word science. I just care about, is this probably true?
Well, we like to deal in exactness, and that's why we like the actual datums. But what I was trying to say was, in order for you, knowing you've done your computer programming and mapping and all that, in order for you to define a curve, you have to start off with a straight thing first. So
I don't define the curve.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. In order to build your model, you have to have a curve that deviates from a plane.
To be honest, in primitive geometric mathematics, all I need is a location and a radius.
Yeah, but in reality, we use a horizontal plane to measure a deviance through the vertical on the, like you were saying, on that Y.
Yeah, I don't do that. I just create a radius and a primitive sphere.
Yeah, which is why I asked you at the beginning, do you not see the paradox between the drop and the hump?
Yeah. No, correct.
But I know you said you don't like it. Yeah.
Well, no, a hump, like I say, a hump. I don't look at a fucking snooker ball and say 20 slices through this is 20 humps. I don't. I don't get that.
No, only the top one would have a hump, wouldn't it?
No, if you put more slices in it, there'd be, well, I suppose there'd be pizza shapes, but you'd certainly get more humps out of it, depending on how you sliced it, if that's what you wanted.
There'd be all parallels if you carried on through it like that. Slicing them all on.
No. If
the wire.
Your intersection was only a slice of what was left.
Changing your angle. Yeah, obviously, if you have a fixed point the slices would be all different.
But like I say, I still might find something wrong with the current data that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. The fact that it's been 100% correct so far in all the tests that I've given it doesn't mean that there isn't just one where I think, hang on, this can't be the case.
Well, like I say, how do you account for the fact that in reality we measure a vertical change from a horizontal plane established by a level to your surface that you just draw a big ball?
I don't account for that. I walk outside and see if the elevation from the horizon based on the tangent to the horizon and the temporal data of the sun passing through my sky matches within the envelope profile that I'll give it, which is 1/2 degree. And it always does a lot less than 1/2 degree, and that's all I do. I say, oh my god, this matches. And then I ask someone else and they say, fucking hell, it matches. That's it.
What do you think about horizontals being parallel to the plane of the horizon?
What do you mean, horizontals being parallel to that? I don't care.
Nice.
Why should I care about that?
Well, I'm just saying, like,
Oh, right, no.
it's just
What do I think?
t-shirt logic. Do you not care?
Great. I think great. Does that get me to the truth? No. So, who cares?
Right. We've got some other stuff as well. We're doing. Like
I shall look forward to your. Is this so?
I'm calling them the laws of understanding, but some people call them the laws of communication, the laws of thought.
So this is what you're going to do on Sensibles. Oh, what are we on Wednesday? Friday.
Oh no, we're doing a bit of a special.
Wait a minute, Bev. Are you going on there for an actual debate?
Well, it's not a debate. I've managed to work it. I've been trying to get him to talk about logic for ages, and it's been really hard. So I'm going over there.
Wait a minute. You're just pushing your t-shirt store, aren't you?
No. This is the Black Swan. I've been trying to get somebody to go over the Black Swan with us for ages. And you obviously know whenever you try and talk to QE about it, it blows his top because, you know, there are many flaws. So that's what we're going to go over on Friday with Mr. Sensible is the many flaws of QE's BS.
Oh yeah. Now, so let me ask you this, and this is a logic question. This isn't a leading one either. Do you believe that because of that Black Swan image, the Earth is flat?
No, that's one of the major problems with the Black Swan argument. QE, fuck that up big time. I think maybe QE's on your side. Very clever.
Actually, wait a minute. I actually think that about chemo as well.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're keeping this cycle going, right? They need it. They need you guys as much as you guys need them.
Yeah.
And QE helped you out big time with the Black Swan. I'm going to let you know.
Have you ever spoke to QE about it then?
You try to, but you know, you can't.
Yeah, because, I mean, forget the argument of the shape of the fucking Earth. The logic statement that I found a black swan out of all the white swans, therefore every swan is black, is fucking ludicrous to me.
It makes all swans white again. Yeah, not black. It makes them all white.
Well, no. Yeah. The black swan in saying this proves the point. It is based on the postulation that all swans are, the swan is always white. Yeah.
Now, all swans are white is the statement.
All swans are white. The black swan proves that statement is false.
Yes.
But it's been taken by QE as, I found a black swan, therefore all swans are black.
Yeah, it's like everybody has got the wrong impression of what the logic is because QE put a picture there. But QE put a picture there, obviously, to help you guys out. You know, absolutely. It's a logical statement. It doesn't need the picture.
Do you think Nathan is the same then, since they are one of the same kind of
Possibly, yeah. I mean, Nathan's very clever, but I'm not too keen about the flat Earth math thing. Did you see that?
No.
Wow.
Oh, wait a minute. I saw a clip of it, but I don't watch stuff like
Well, it was like everybody's been saying for, I don't know how long. Like, Nathan's been in his bit for, like, say 5 years, and he's never really come out. He's been over to Ranties to do that thing with George and other sorts of stuff, but never really anything. And everyone's go, oh, Nathan's been in there. Every flat earther worth anything goes over there and gives him their best information, and he develops his fucking 10 questions, 11 or whatever, his housekeeping questions. So he's the guy that's compiled everything, right? He's got all of the knowledge. He's had all of the people there. He's talked to all of them. He knows the arguments inside and out. And wow, he's doing a debate with Flat Earth Math. You're like, brilliant. This should be good, right? Math is, everybody knows math's quite pleasant, and it's not going to turn into anything bad, because, math might be severely model afflicted, but he's okay. And Nathan goes over there and just keeps saying, give me R, give me R, give me R. And he knows, right, that it's impossible to begin, math can't give it him. So he's just asking math for the impossible. That's it. Doesn't go anywhere else. I mean, ridiculous.
No, it's not a good way to win a debate or even to look good.
Yeah, if he's after building a following, what's that about?
It's actually boring. But here's the question then: how come he still has so many fucking followers if that's the extent of what he can do for you guys?
What do you mean for you guys? He's not nothing to do with us.
Flat Earth, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, like, that's what I say. If he's working with you, then they're all in an industry. They all need each other to keep survive, right? I mean, if there was no Nathan Oakley and the Flat Earthers, right, what would you be doing? What would Jose be doing? What would all of those bitter men that gather together?
What would I be doing? I'd be working like I am right this second while just having a chat. I wouldn't. I don't not work just because I think, oh, I know, I'll go on to not a debate show, but I'll go on and show some predictions or some models or some explanations. I carry on working.
Yeah, would you be working making those models though? What would be the point in predicting?
Oh no, like I said to you at the beginning, replace the fucking flat Earth argument with I don't know, fluid dynamics. So Navier-Stokes based fluid dynamics. Or Navier-Stokes, however you pronounce it. I'm common, I don't know.
Hydrostatics. I like that.
So if there was some discussion on that, where people were using words to describe incredibly hard kind of concepts that I can show, pardon the pun, fluidly, with interactions of like viscosity, temperature, cohesion, pressure, and things like that, via 3D simulations and stuff, I'd probably be doing that. The flat Earth bit and the fluid bit is irrelevant. I don't do 3D anymore, and I used to for 18 fucking years. It's just an outlet of it's like a hobby that I used to like. Well, it's a hobby that I used to do as a career that I used to like, and it's just a way to just do that again. So, like I say, it doesn't matter whether it's flat Earth or something else.
Cool. We've got some good models.
Okay.
Yeah. Involves vertical datums and
can it predict anything?
Water levels.
Can it predict anything?
They're pretty accurate as ones as well. I mean, you go down to the 100. Have you ever, Slice Barcane ever asked you to model his water level?
No. What level?
His bending water level test.
His bending water level test now.
Because I was like, we've got.
Oh, he does 3D stuff. Wait a minute, he does 3D stuff himself, doesn't he? He uses Max, so he wouldn't ask me to do anything. He'd just do it himself.
Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, but you do pretty nice models, don't you?
Cheers, Bev.
Well, I mean, that's you. Obviously, you've dealt in it. I mean, Slice Barcane, is he a? Oh, he is. He's a graphics. It's like an artist, isn't he?
I think so. I don't know to be 100% sure, but I think so.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Modeler. So shall I challenge him to a modeler?
Yeah. I wonder whether he knows Walter Bislin.
Now that's a smart fucking cookie. Although he's got something wrong on his site, which I noticed and I pointed out to him and he agreed. I like it. So I felt really good on that day.
Is that because he's put all of that big hump in Jesse Kozlowski's bridge?
No,
well, the one that Jesse Kozlowski
it's
drove
actually
over.
to do. No, it's actually to do with this flat Earth, globe Earth comparison. So I forget now. This was a year ago. But on part of his site, you can put in a prediction, and on one side it'll show you the flat Earth prediction. On the other side, it'll show you the globe Earth prediction. And I noticed on some of the values when you, I think, wait a minute, what was it? When I can't remember now, but when I put in some value, I thought, no, that's not right. That there's no way it should look like this. And then he actually came in about a month later into Jose's Discord thing and was having a chat, and I had to ask him about it, and he admitted that yes, it's wrong because he couldn't do the view transformation at the time, and he's just never corrected it. So I felt really good because there's a fuck ton smarter than me.
Did you see that thing that Blue did the other day? Because we were going over that, the model that Walter made for Jesse and Soundly. Because they said 3 coplanar points, which was one end of the bridge, the other end of the bridge, and the point in the middle, right, on the level span, as he says. Now, they said that that's a vertical plane. Can you believe that? And then they said that the one in the middle was 28.5 meters higher than the other two.
Relative,
you know, the base.
Relative to a point line vector from origin to source. I don't know. I'd have to work it out what it would be.
Well, 3 coplanar points, and they said they have the bottom one as the baseline, and then the other one, obviously, in the center, isosceles triangle, 28.5 meters up on a vertical plane. I mean, can you imagine him thinking that?
This is Lake Pontchartrain.
Yeah, that's what Blue was saying, yeah?
I'd have to have a look at the video to see it in context, but I don't watch debunker or flat earth videos that much, to be honest. The last thing that I'm doing for, well, I say the last thing, there's about 4 or 5 things I want to finish off before.
Well, this isn't debunker or flat earth. This is Jesse Kozlowski and his measurements and Walter Bislin. But yeah. I don't. Blue seems to think that it's a vertical plane. Like when Jesse Kozlowski said 3 coplanar points, he thinks that's on the vertical plane.
So obviously coplanar points is a relationship to each other.
Yeah, it's a triangle.
Yeah, so you can treat them as a relationship to each other. That does not give them a relationship to anything else. So
it does. When you put them on a map and put them on a vertical plane.
Wait a minute. Yeah. On a map. Now you're relating it to the map.
Yeah, vertical plane. That's why there's a hump.
I'm going to choose, for me to say, I'm going to choose 3 random points in space. I can actually say that based on that triangle, they are all coplanar to each other.
Yeah, and vertical. They'd either be horizontal plane or a vertical plane. He wouldn't bother telling you it was on a willy-nilly plane. This is a surveyor.
I don't need to say horizontal or vertical. I can just say that 3 randomly chosen points create a triangle.
Yeah, but we're using Jesse Kozlowski's data.
Nearly done.
Surveying.
All of those 3 points are coplanar to each other and the triangle. That does not mean that the triangle conforms to anything else. So I don't know the context of what they're saying or whether I agree with it.
Okay.
Is my point. But anyway, let me tell you the last thing I'm going to do for Flat Earth. Jose has just sent me some footage for Flat Earth demonstration video shit.
Wow.
Jose just sent me some footage. He continuously filmed a vessel. I'm going to get the survey data, where he was, his elevation, and the vessel, along with a few other vessels, actually, and some landmarks. And this is what I mean by model and predictions. So I get the survey data, and then I make a model based on the survey data of a globe, and then flat, which is really fucking easy. The flat bit. The globe, less so. And then I'm going to put predictions at either side of the actual footage to see what the footage matches. And that's how I do kind of the probabilistic things. Now, will it match a geometry prediction of a globe? I fucking highly doubt it. Will it be closer to that than flat? Absolutely. Well, I can see that it is, but how close will it be? I don't know. And could I, based on the distance, work out the refractive index of the atmosphere?
So you love these modelling shit, don't you?
Oh no, yeah, no.
I think you might be my new favourite model addicted person, because you're like fully into the models, you're more than anyone else.
Wait a minute, because I did it for a career for 18 fucking years.
No, like you like building them as well.
Oh, no, of course I do.
Models of models.
I want to build a boat that I haven't built yet. So yeah, of course I do. I love 3D.
Yeah,
it's what bought me a house and cars and shit like that. So
Stingray was a model, wasn't it? That was good. Yeah, I get it. Get it.
I miss it. And now I don't do that. I only do software development, so it's a little bit less creative, it's a little bit less visual, although I do augmented reality, virtual reality, machine learning, vision neural networks, shit like that. It's still nothing compared to just creating some 3D shit. It really isn't. So, but anyway, good chat, and I shall try and catch you on Mr. Sensibles on Friday, and good luck flogging your t-shirt.
Should be good.
I'm going to make a prediction, Bev.
Go on. I know you're good at that as well. Have you ever read Dawn? You know, Dawn's a witch.
No. So, my prediction is Mr. Sensible won't be vehemently opposed to logic, but you might be able to confuse him quite easily. No, I'm being serious. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
Because I went on there and the last time I was on there, I've only been on there like twice or three times, and someone came on and said, oh, well, this, and this, and then that guy left, and I said to Mr. Sensible, I said, well, the issue with what he just said would be parallel lines would have to converge, then diverge after the point of converging. And Mr. Sensible couldn't visualize it, so I don't think he's got a visual creative mind, and it wasn't a hard concept. So I think if logic involves visualization, I think you'll confuse him quite easily. But that's my prediction.
Yeah, I don't think it does. We were saying the other day that people come into these conversations with so much baggage that they're quite often unaware of the actual conversation that's going on because they've got so much baggage that they get confused. And that's what I'm predicting. Like me finding it very hard to talk to Mr. Sensible about the basics of stuff to try and, you know, get to the audience rather than, I'm not like, that's what I think Mr. Sensible's not going to get. He's not going to quite understand that I'm trying to talk to everybody and not just him.
It'd be cool if you brought some visuals though, because these concepts are incredibly difficult for anybody. I'm not on about flat Earth or globe. Are hard for people to grasp and to visualize from words, and sometimes you can get misunderstandings and stuff. So I would always say, add visuals if you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got some.
Talking of misunderstandings, just before you go, Stingray.
Yeah,
you were saying about the three coplanar points on the bridge. You put them as three random points in space.
Yeah, so
they're not. They're 3 points on a bridge. They're not in random space at all.
No, that was to illustrate that when I described 3 points as having a relationship with being coplanar, where they are is irrelevant because I can place them in random places and say that they are not planar.
These 3 points weren't in random places.
Yes, but without the
they were on a horizontal plane across the span of a bridge.
The horizontal bit, I haven't seen it after watching the video. If someone said the bridge has...
Well, he said...
Wait a minute, listen.
No, hang on. No, you hang on, Stingray. He said they were at the beginning, middle, and end points of a bridge. That puts it horizontal.
Well, that makes it a line if it's a flat Earth. That doesn't make it...
Nobody here has claimed flat Earth or globe Earth. So you again...
Yeah, so if...
You again building a straw man around my question.
No. I'm not saying that's your position. I'm saying if world flat, then that line. If world not flat, triangle, perpendicular.
All I'm saying is that you put those 3 points in random space, and that's not where they were at all.
No, I didn't say it was where they were. I didn't say they randomly chose points in space. Absolutely, I agree with you. Glad we cleared that up. But anyway, gentlemen, I have to get on with work. I'm doing stupid things with a camera view projection, not related to flat Earth. Thanks for the chat.
We're not bothered about the models here, you know. You can.
No, this is my work.
Yeah.
This is my work. This is nothing to do with fucking flat Earth.
Well, yeah, this is nothing here. Is nothing to do with flat Earth either. I don't know why you keep bringing it up.
Relating to concepts and stuff in this field.
We just try and deal with the basic logic here.
Then I wish you luck for your basic logic discussion with Mr. Sensible, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you very much. See you later.
If you enjoyed the content, please support On the Level and future projects. Membership subscriptions available now, or come and get involved at Next Level Discord server. Thank you.